No confidence. Nnamdi Kanu rejects trial resumption, insists on Justice Nyako'S recusals. To my dear listeners, it is no longer in news that Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, is in detention of the DSS. And a few months back, Nnamdi Kanu actually accused Justice Unyako that is siding the federal government, and he is not satisfied with Justice Unyako's judgment about his detention in the DSS custody. So right here, before I go into details, can you please ensure you like, subscribe to this channel and share. Good morning and welcome to today's news. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has opposed the request by the federal government for the resumption for his trial, insisting that the trial judge, Justice Bintal Unyako, must recuse herself from the matter. Kanu's lead counsel, Aloy Ejimako, reviewed his client's position in a post on X on Tuesday, rejecting the federal government's bid to reopen the trial. Kanu, who is being prosecuted on 7 counts of alleged treasonable felony and terrorism, was rearrested in Kenya in 2021 and extraordinarily rendered to Nigeria. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. At the last court session on September 24, 2024, Kanu requested that Justice Unyako recuse herself, citing a loss of confidence in her handling of the case. Justice Unyako agreed to recuse herself and forwarded the case file to the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court for reassignment. However, the Chief Judge returned the case to Justice Unyako, stating that 2 other judges had previously recused themselves, and Justice Unyako, having handled the matter since 2015, was best positioned to conclude it. The Chief Judge instructed that if Kanu still wanted Justice Unyako to step aside, he must file a formal motion with an affidavit detailing his reasons, serve it on the prosecution, and await Justice Unyako's determination. Despite this directive, the federal government counsel Adegboyega Awomolo-san requested a new trial date in a December 5, 2024 letter addressed to the Deputy Chief Registrar of the Federal High Court. Awomolo argued that the Chief Judge's decision reinstated Justice Unyako as the trial judge. However, Kanu's lawyer, Ejimako, in a counter letter rejecting the request, argued that Justice Unyako's decision to recuse herself was still valid and binding. Our position is based on the fact that Justice Unyako entered and enrolled an order recusing herself on September 24, 2024, and to date, that order remains extant and subsisting. It has not been set aside by any competent court, Ejimako stated. He further accused the prosecution of attempting to mislead the court, insisting that Kanu no longer has a case before Justice Unyako. For the avoidance of doubt, as of September 24, 2024, the defendant no longer has any case to answer before Justice Bintal Unyako, Ejimako said. Demanding Justice Unyako's withdrawal from his case at the previous proceedings, Kanu who shouted down his lawyer and spoke for himself, maintained that he did not trust the judge to be impartial. Addressing the judge directly, Kanu said, "My lord, I have no confidence in this court anymore, and I ask you to recuse yourself because you did not abide by the decision of the Supreme Court. I can understand it if the DSS refused to obey a court order, but for this court to refuse to obey to an order of the Supreme Court is regrettable. I am asking you to recuse yourself from this case." However, the prosecution counsel, Awomolu, urged Justice Nyako to regard Kanu's claim for disobeying a Supreme Court order and proceed with the hearing. "My lord, you should not recuse yourself on the basis of this mere observation, which does not have anything to do with the Supreme Court. It is an incompetent observation. We urge this court to proceed with the hearing," Awomolu said. But Kanu vehemently objected, waving a copy of a document in his hand, which he said was a copy of the subsisting judgment of the Supreme Court. He proceeded to read a part that said, "The actions of the trial court render the impartiality of the judge suspect." He also tried to explain to the judge that his objection to her presiding over his matter was not personal, but now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by the comment section and let us know what your view is all about. Thank you for listening.